Mall of America is celebrating Earth Month with some bugs.
Indeed, indeed. It's their annual Ladybug release. It's happening right now. And this morning, oh, look, here we go. We are joined by strategic advisor and MOA storyteller, Dan Jasper. Dan, good morning. We see the ladybugs. They are out and about. But here's the thing, too. This is a pretty big event. You were just telling us about the crowd at the mall this morning. What were you saying before?
It's awesome. This is the largest crowd we have ever had for this event. There are hundreds of people. They're still coming in the north doors, and we are releasing thousands and thousands and thousands of live ladybugs, and they're awesome.
Oh my goodness, I see you've got a cup full there, Dan. You know, this is all about Earth Day. Dig into a little bit on how this celebrates the Earth, this event.
You know, there's a lot of things we do at Mall of America that actually are very green friendly that a lot of people don't know about. This is one of the more visible ones because rather than using pesticides, our landscaping team, we invite our guests to come, release ladybugs. They eat other insects like aphids. That keeps all of our 30,000 live plants and trees healthy. We also don't heat this entire building, and we recycle more than 65% of our waste, and just all of these events that we like to honor and remember, especially during Earth Month. And later today, during Toddler Tuesday, kids will have a chance to learn more, release more ladybugs, and it's just the start of Earth Month activities here at the mall.
Okay, Dan. So we're actually showing footage right now of kids releasing ladybugs. So you mentioned the thousands of ladybugs that are released. So do you pick them up? Like what happens with the ladybugs? Are they just going to hang out? Is this their new home now?
Well, yes, this is their new home. The kids and the families release them. You can see they're crawling all over me right now. And we put them on our plants, all of the live plants here. They take care of the other pests, and they live out their lives naturally here at Mall of America. And once the sun comes through our skylights, they start to fly a little bit as well. So this place becomes even more magical than it does on a typical day.
Huh.
Okay, I didn't know that. Learn something new every day.
Something new, huh?
Dan, so you released some ladybugs at 6 this morning. You've got more later this morning to another release, right?
We do. We're doing our Toddler Tuesday event in the Rotunda later this morning, and kids and families will have the chance to release some more. We will talk about them in the Rotunda, then we'll bring them in here into the park and release some more as well. And then we will have celebrations throughout the entire month, including on Earth Day itself, free plant tours of the mall.
Okay, even better. Okay,
amazing.
Dan, one final question for you. Where do these ladybugs come from?
Well, they come from mommy and daddy ladybugs. Let me start at the beginning. And I didn't know we were going this direction this morning, but here we go. Well, actually, we have special vendors that we use so that we get the appropriate type of ladybugs that are good for this habitat and good for Minnesota, and then we bring them here so they are especially bred for this type of environment.
Yeah, Dan, Dan didn't realize he was going to be talking about the birds and the bees. Actually, the birds and bees ladybugs
Live
version
TV,
this morning.
anything happens, Dan.
Oh, Dan Jasper at the Mall of America. Good stuff, Dan. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you missed this morning's Ladybug, Dan's the man. There is another release this morning, like we mentioned. It goes from 10 until noon, and it's at the Huntington Bank Rotunda. So for more information, visit the mall's website.
6:37 is your time, April. It is Earth Month, and Mall of America celebrating with a special tradition of theirs.
Yeah, it's a big day over at the mall. It's the annual Ladybug release at Nickelodeon Universe. And this morning, we're joined by Communications Director Laura Utacht. Good morning, Laura. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you guys.
Thank you. I want to get a vibe check from you, Laura. You said there's a really big crowd, the biggest one you've seen, in fact.
Yeah, we just started opening up this event to the public last year, and we have hundreds of people that have shown up. A lot of children, too, which is great. Getting up early, kicking off the day, releasing ladybugs. We've got some people that wear all of their ladybug outfits and T-shirts and apparel. It's really fun. We got all kinds of ladybugs right here. They're crawling all over my hands, but it is a fun morning. We wish you guys were here. I got Joel Cam here with me. We miss you guys.
Look, they keep us in a cage here at WCCO, so they don't let us out. I'm curious, Laura, because you're the senior director of communications there. What's it like? What's the process to get ready for an event like this?
Well, there's a lot of planning that's involved. So, of course, we want to open it up to the public. So we were posting on our social channels and getting the word out to people. And there was so much excitement. We love that people are so passionate about plants and ladybugs. Then, of course, it's just setting up. It's ordering the ladybugs. It's getting our plant experts here and ready to prepare everybody for how to do it. Now, if you want, I can actually teach you. It's very scientific. We just take it and we put it right over the plant here. Give it a little sprinkle. You'll notice they're all over my hands, all over my shirt. I think they're in my shoes too. But you just sprinkle it right here on top of the plants, and they work as a natural pesticide. So a very sustainable and fun way to kick off Earth Month here at Mall of America.
Oh my goodness, Laura. Okay, it's just as easy as that. You just sprinkle them on the plants there. I love it. What has been
just sprinkle
the reaction?
Right on.
There you go. Anybody can do it. And you've got kiddos there doing this
very
too.
Challenging. Very challenging. The reaction, we're getting, so many people are here. It's so fun watching the kids. That's my favorite part, is watching the kids' eyes light up when they see all the ladybugs, letting them crawl all over you. And as Dan mentioned earlier, once the sun starts coming through with the skylights, we've got 2 miles of skylights here at Mall of America. They actually start flying a little bit.
Oh, wow.
It is just such a fun, family-friendly event here.
2 miles of skylights in Mall of America. A little fun fact of the mall there. Hey, Laura, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your time. Make sure you take off your shoes. That way you don't crush any frizzy there.
Get the ladybugs out. Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Right on the tip of my finger there.
Thanks, Laura. Hey, if you missed this morning's Ladybug release, there is another later this morning. It goes from 10 till noon. It's at the Huntington Bank Rotunda. For more information, visit the Mall of America's website. Coming up on 6:50, it's time to check in with next weather meteorologist Joseph Dames. A chilly start, but there's going to be some sunshine today, hopefully.
Yeah, we have clear skies right now. So the chilly start is because, one, we do have a colder air mass that's moved on in. But the other reason for that is because we have high pressure, and it's left us with really clear skies. So through the overnight, some of the warmth that we got yesterday out of here, all right, gone out into the atmosphere and out into the sky. So we start off cool, but we at least get the sunshine. And if it's going to be cool, it may as well be nice and sunny. Here's the high pressure right here. It's actually kind of like a shield for us. It's preventing anything from really developing or happening around here. So the best part about this is that it kind of pushed this system down south that could have potentially brought some snow. And we do not have to worry about that. We get the sunshine here. Temperatures in the mid-40s this afternoon. Camden down through Young America. Happy Tuesday. You get a high of 45, 47 coming out of Shakopee right there. Across the area nearby, about mid to upper 40s. St. Paul, 47. White Bear Lake, same for you. And mid to upper 40s to Stillwater, down through areas like Cottage Grove and Rosemount this morning. Yesterday was our first dry day this month. We had some very wet days on Thursday and Friday. Had a little something on Saturday. We even had a quick splash on Sunday. Some of you had a little more than that. But yesterday we said no more. We'll tap out for a little bit, and we did. And we keep it dry today as well. I don't see anything in the forecast. In fact, I'll show you through the weather models here. Clouds move in to a certain degree, so it won't be clear skies all day, but we refrain from any sort of moisture. Tomorrow morning, western Wisconsin, maybe a little bit of shower activity, but I think we have a chance heading into the evening commute, like 3 through probably 6 p.m., more so into Wisconsin again, and then that clears out. So if you're joining us in some of our counties here, you'll probably see more moisture than the rest of areas of Minnesota. Then we get to some dry time for Thursday and Friday. 2 beautiful days, sitting in the 50s. Friday's awesome, 57 and sunny. Weekend comes along, though. It gets warm, it gets humid, and it does get a little active there with storms. I have that in the forecast Sunday as well as Monday. For now, just got to get through that 47-degree day.
Look at the sky today, because we got no. We got some sunshine.
You're big old weather conversations.
Yeah, right.
Well, we can always talk about the weather, right? It's nice and sunny, or it's cold outside. Hey, yeah, that's the view outside. You can see the nice blue skies. Hey, I wanted to show you our view from space down towards Earth. No, It's not as brilliant as what Artemis is enjoying out there, but I still think this is super cool. These are our satellites. This is a visible satellite. It's picking up on the cloud cover that's moving on, and it's showing the clearer skies as well. What I also like to see here is you can see all the snow. That white right there that's not moving, that's snow on the ground from the weekend. I pointed that out yesterday. So here you go. We have a lot coming our direction. It's not going to be enough to really block out the sunshine today, but there will be more clouds moving in as we kind of work into the afternoon. High pressure shifts to the east. It helped us out as far as keeping us dry this morning and nice and sunny and clear. But as that travels eastward, it does kind of open up the door to our next disturbance, which will move on in as we go into our Wednesday. We've been below average so far this month as far as our temperatures go. So yesterday we were 9 degrees below average. No, it was at 9 below. Yesterday was 9 degrees below our average, though some of you this morning were very close to that temperature. Bemidji was at 4 below. Neighborhood highs today going to the 40s. I have 47 out of Prior Lake, Scott County, Carver County, up to Wright County. We'll all have a very similar temperature, maybe like a couple in the pair of 4s there at 44 versus maybe like upper 40s if you head into some of these locations close to the metro area. Roseville coming in at 47. I think see Hastings today coming in at 46. We've had rain each and every day with that cooler air, for the exception of yesterday. We finally brought in our first dry day, and we should be dry today as well for our Tuesday. Tomorrow's when we start noticing some of those changes. You'll see the clouds kind of floating around on our weather model right here. No precip until overnight. Now there is a small threat for maybe a couple of showers early tomorrow morning. I believe that's south and east of the cities, and most likely just going to be an issue for areas of Wisconsin, though. Here's 645. Models have it already gone. What I don't think we'll avoid is this portion of the system that's going to move on in. We have a front from 3 to probably 6 p.m. I think it's fair game that we have some passing showers that could slow down your evening commute tomorrow just a smidge, though I think it's out of here pretty quickly. We clear out around here, some clouds up north by Thursday morning. And I think we're looking pretty good to wrap up the week. Speaking of which, on Friday when Artemis is set to return, it's going to splash land in outside of San Diego there, just in the Pacific. We'll have temperatures in the 50s and beautiful sunshine again on Friday. It does get warmer this weekend, though. It does come with a threat for some showers and storms. I think that happens late Saturday and then on Sunday, all right? Plan on a warmer day on Sunday. It may be even humid on Sunday, but it's probably going to come with some thunderstorms, lightning, some downpours, things of that nature. We'll see if we have any severe weather set up for this weekend. For now, we're just going to go with 70s and storms, continuing into Monday morning as well. So it is going to get active as we head into the weekend, but we have a couple nice moments, Friday being one specifically.
All right. We look forward to Friday then. Joseph, thank you.
Along with spring cleaning your home, now it's a good time to start refreshing and organizing your finances.
Our money expert, Dustin Smith from Wealth Enhancement Group, is here with us. Great to see you as always.
Thanks for having me.
So you say start with your financial infrastructure. Break that down. What do you mean when you say your infrastructure there?
Yeah, so infrastructure for me is just kind of like your accounts in general. Okay. So here's the thing. There's a lot of what I call orphan accounts sitting out there. The average American has a ton of, let's say, old 401ks or IRAs or bank accounts, or things that they opened, right? And now they're just sitting out there being ignored. Spring is a great time to take a step back because you probably just did your taxes. You're thinking about these things, right? And it's not summer yet to Minnesota, so now's the time to focus. But, you know, once again, I always say look at all your old accounts and maybe consider consolidating, because honestly, those old accounts, if they're small, you're not going to pay attention to them, and that's a missed opportunity.
Can you be penalized though if you do consolidate those accounts? You're not penalized, right?
No, not at all. I mean, you can consolidate. I mean, there's different rules for doing that, but you know, for especially retirement accounts, it's quite easy to consolidate.
Okay, and you also say look for inefficiencies. What do you mean by that? Okay,
so I don't think I'm the only one, but you ever remember wanting to watch a show and you decided you download the app for free for the first month, right? And then you finish the show and then you forget to cancel the app.
Yeah,
so
you've been there before?
A couple times. And so, like, I took the opportunity the other day to kind of go through and looked up through my phone or whatnot, like all the apps and things that I'm paying for, and I noticed that I had a handful that honestly I just don't use anymore.
Yeah.
So those are massive inefficiencies that I think that are out there, but once again, day to day, you're just going to forget.
Revisit your investment strategy.
Yeah.
When you say revisit, how often should you be doing that?
At least annually, because here's the thing: your time horizon is constantly changing. Meaning your time in which you're going to use said monies. So if you're going to, let's say, you're saving for a home or college or maybe it's retirement, you're always getting closer to that date, right? And so therefore your investment strategy may want to change as well, because as you approach those time horizons, you may want to become more conservative because you want to take less risk. But it's hard to do so because, once again, especially if a lot of accounts out there, you're probably not paying attention. So now's the time to do that.
Okay, and your last tip for spring cleaning your finances, don't overlook risk.
Yeah, there's lots of risk out there, whether it be from, let's just say, from fraud, right? I mean, there's billions of dollars lost every year, and that might just be because, once again, people might have a handful of small assets that they're not paying attention to, have old passwords, but also it's things like beneficiaries on accounts. I can't tell you how often we run into this where people did the right thing, they got insurance, or they had the right accounts open, but they didn't have the correct beneficiaries, and it just can cause a nightmare.
I was going to say, and you've talked about this before too, but like when it comes to spring cleaning, getting a will together, having some of those documentation together, it can save you years in stress in the long run.
Stress and money, but once again, now's the time to do it. Spring's a wonderful time, right? It's not that warm yet, right? And we all know I'm guilty of this. Once it gets above 70, we kind of
game over.
Game over
That's it.
until October, right? So do it now.
Okay.
Thanks,
Dustin, as always, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
In response to the ice surge in Minnesota, students at Metropolitan State University have gathered together a collection of writings in the new book, Voices of Resilience.
And joining us now this morning, writing professor Bello Cipriani and student and book editor Stephanie Major. Thank you both so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Okay, so let's start with this. I mean, this is a huge collection of stories, Stephanie. What did you decide? How did you decide? And why did you decide to collect these stories?
Absolutely. So we decided to collect these stories as a response to what was going on in our city and really wanting to create a testament, a piece in history with the voices of our students. Submissions were opened and then gone through by a team of selection editors.
So you had more than 200 items submitted. How did you narrow that down?
Gosh, that is quite the process, I will tell you. And again, that's where having that team of selection editors comes in. We break it up by genre, and there's certain parameters, word count and things like that. But ultimately, we chose the best of the best and went with what was the strongest to go with the theme of the Voices of Resilience.
Bello, I'm curious to know from your perspective, because I know that you are from Guatemala, so I know that you have a very personal connection with everything that has unfolded here. Can you talk about, if you're comfortable talking about this, how did the ice surge impact you personally?
Absolutely. When I heard the whistling around my neighborhood, it was definitely haunting, and that really motivated me to capture this moment in time. We had this, prior to this anthology, we had a literary magazine that was just distributed within the university campus, and I really wanted to put together a book that serves as an archive to really, so people in the future could see what happened to us, what we lived through. And I feel that we're doing that. We have a book now where it's going to be available through libraries, the major online retailer, and we're preserving our history.
What do you hope, this is a question for both of you, Bello and Stephanie, what do you hope readers take away from these stories?
For me personally, what I hope that readers take away is a renewed sense of their own resilience. I will say, as reading through these pieces the many times that I have, each time I do, I'm left with hope. I'm left with an understanding of what do we do after? There's the event, and then there's the after. This is a roadmap. This is the guide to how to get your hope back and how to persevere.
Bello, what about you?
I think that we have, as Minnesotans, gone through so much in the last couple of months, and I hope that people, when they read these stories, poems, and essays, that they maybe feel a little less lonely.
Yeah.
I know you kind of alluded to it before, but I love the idea of calling this a roadmap to where we go from here. where can people find this roadmap in the future for anyone who's looking for this story and this collection of stories?
It'll be available through every online retailer, and this is going to be a series of books. And Stephanie, do you want to share our theme for next year?
Absolutely. So next year, Volume 2 will be focused on the future. Building the future that we want to live in.
I can only imagine the collection of stories that you're going to get from this moment moving forward, because the change that we're going to continue to see. So this is only the beginning. Thank you guys both so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
It's 9:46, and here is something you can raise a glass to. Today, it is National Beer Day.
Yeah, it is. Adam Semley, manager of Total Wine and More in Bloomington, is here with us to tell us. You brought some goodies for us today. A nice spread.
I brought a variety.
The assignment.
Yes, I did. So like you said, raise a glass, right?
Yep.
So National Beer Day, that's today. We're going to kind of go through the whole thing here. So
Love it.
What's a classic? What's a classic? Budweiser.
Budweiser, king of beers.
We know it, right? Classic American beer, lager, crisp, clean, okay? Let's go to the other side of the pond, right? Ireland. We've seen this. We saw this last month.
Yep.
It's not only for St. Patrick's Day, okay? So malty, creamy nitrogen, right? So it's going to have that mouthfeel.
Yeah.
When you pour a fresh one, it cascades down, coffee notes, delicious, good year-round, not as heavy as you would think, okay?
Minnesotans know this one.
That's right, local. This is the local beer, right? So Surly Furious, they've been on top of the game for a long time. Hoppy, right? So you're gonna have the citrus notes, a little bit bitter, kind of the opposite side of the flavor spectrum from the Guinness here, okay? But maybe that's not you. Maybe this doesn't suit your palate. How about a sour, right?
Sure,
Sometimes that can be a little scary, but we have another local guy here, Pry's Raspberry Sour. So tart, maybe tart on this one more than sour. Definitely raspberry forward. You can see a little bit of that in the color. Delicious, still gonna be a beer, right? But not quite as scary as other ones. Summit, we have NA beers, right? NA beers are huge, so Summit gives us a great option. A lot of local breweries do at National, so a great option to have your NA. And variety packs, if you don't know what to get your guests, this covers the whole basis. In addition to your beers, we always sell wine, spirits, THC gifts if the beer holiday isn't for you.
I was asking before, Adam, what would you say? What would you say is the most popular beer in Minnesota right now? Is it still an IPA, or what are you seeing at Total Wine?
Yeah, I would say Mick Golden Light's always huge, right? that crushable beer for the boats during the summer, year-round. But in the craft world, IPAs, they're still kind of king when it comes to craft beer. If you know someone's coming to your house and they're a craft beer drinker, chances are you can land an IPA and feel pretty good about it.
Yeah. What I like about what you brought today is you got a variety. If you're not a beer drinker, you're like, oh, I don't like it. But there's something out there for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, starting here, or some people don't want to drink alcohol on a Tuesday night like we're in, right? So that's where the IPA lands. The NA IPA over there with the Nihilus. So it's great. You can still get the same profile of taste without having the alcohol.
What makes a good summer beer, in your opinion?
Crisp, light, and you know, I like lagers because they're better cold. You know, they tend to lend themselves to drinking cold more than maybe even some ales. So that's where I tend to kind of lean a little more towards those lighter, crushable beers because they
lighter, crushable beers.
That's
I like
right.
it.
Okay, so Total Wine and More. How many locations do you guys have in the metro? Where are you guys located?
10 in the metro, 11 in Minnesota. Yeah, so
great.
Got you covered.
You got us covered in Minnesota.
And Rochester.
In Rochester.
Ah, nice. Well, thank you, Adam. And I mean, it's not quite summer weather, Joseph.
The sun is shining, though, right?
Yeah, we got the sun. We'll take it.